Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a Diablo 3 video on how to get the time-limited Kanai Skorn Transmog. You only have a few days left to get this Transmog. The last week of March every year is the only time you can acquire it. And in this video, we'll go over how you can get that Transmog, as well as the lore and backstory behind it. So we'll start by quickly explaining how to get the item. You'll want to load into adventure mode. The difficulty doesn't matter, you can do it on normal. Then you're going to go to Act 3, the Ruins of Sescheron waypoint in the top right. Run around, explore the Ruins of Sescheron until you find the exit to the next location, the Elder Sanctum. There is only one other area you can go to. If you find it, that is the exit. From the Elder Sanctum, it's in that area that you will find the Transmog. You're going to try to find the Immortal Throne. It's generally towards the top left of the area. It'll be very obvious when you get there. It's going to look like this. And you're going to walk all the way up to King Kanai on the Immortal Throne. And beside it, you should find a mysterious chest just to the right of King Kanai on the throne. Kanai Skorn is in that chest. It's a 100% spawn rate, 100% drop chance. If the chest is not there, it's because it's not the last week of March. Although there are some rumors that say you can just change the time on your system clock, but we won't talk about that. Now, while you can only get the Transmog during the last week of the month, there is an event that runs throughout the entire month of March. On any day in the month of March, if you approach the Immortal Throne, King Kanai's spirit will emerge from his body and open a portal to Kanai's stomping grounds. It's basically a miniature version of the cow level, but with the added bonus of having Kanai's spirit accompany you, so you get to have a cool companion. He does some damage, but mostly he just looks badass. And that's basically it. That covers the mechanics side of things. That's everything you need to know about this event. The Stomping Grounds doesn't have anything special to it otherwise. You're not going to want to go there to get any special rewards or anything. The one real use for this area is at the start of a season. If a season happens to start during March, then on a fresh character, a level 1 new season character, that's a great area to go level. But that didn't quite line up this year. So the rest of this video will be explaining why King Kanai was added to the game. Who is this person? What's the lore behind him? What's the backstory here? So in that regard, this will sort of be an addendum to my lore series, a lost chapters, if you will. And if you'd like more Diablo lore, I encourage you to check out that series. So to explain why we have King Kanai here, we have to go back and talk about the Horadrim. Not too much, we'll just talk a bit about them. So the Brotherhood of the Horadrim, aka the Crusaders of Light, even though they're not actual Crusaders, they got the name Crusaders before Crusaders were a thing in Diablo 3. They're just a group of mages and wizards, really. And the organization was founded by Tyrael, who basically collected all these mages and wizards like Pokemon as a group that would fight the three prime evils, Baal, Mephisto, and Diablo. There are many important figures in Diablo lore who were Horadrim. Talrasha, for instance, was the leader of the Horadrim, and also the creator of an Haute Couture fashion line. Zoltan Kulle was one of the early members of the Horadrim, and Deckard Cain was the last living member of the Horadrim. Now, the reason we're talking about the Horadrim is because back in the early days of the Horadrim, Zoltan Kulle designed an artifact that he called the Cube. And the Horadrim used this cube in their hunt for the prime evils. This cube eventually became integral to everything that the Horadrim did. Now, unfortunately for the Horadrim, Kulle wasn't exactly the kind of guy who let silly things like morals stand in the way of greatness. So he kind of used some questionable methods in his design of the cube. Now, because of that, the craftsman who worked on the cube, you thought Kulle made the cube himself? No, he was above such menial labor. Anyway, those poor blue-collar workers that he had make the cube spend weeks crafting it. As the days and weeks went on while working on it, they felt their sanity slipping away. And the longer people used the cube, the more they could sense this corruption within it haunting them. So this is where this story takes a twist. Rather than the predictable thing of, oh, they just keep using it and then I'll get corrupted by it, they did the smart thing and decided, you know what, maybe we should stop using this cube. This is bad news. And the Horadrim decided that this cube must be hidden away, even from themselves. Zoltan Kuhl, of course, objected to this, but he was outvoted. So they created a new cube, a less powerful cube, but one that at least wasn't corrupted, and they called that the Horadric Cube. And they gave that original cube to a secret organization of barbarians for safekeeping. Generations of barbarians served as guardians of the cube. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, except not the same in any way whatsoever. And as it was passed down generation to generation, eventually it came to Chief Elder Kanai to safekeep it. And he considered the cube his greatest treasure. Kanai was the Chief Elder of Sescheron, and the cube was buried beneath Sescheron, which was the barbarian capital. Well, at least it was at the time. Because in Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, Baal came with his army of destruction and destroyed Sescheron. But more on that in a bit. Now, at some point in his life, Kanai defeated a demon known as Lanzul, and he claimed his axe as his own. The axe, known as the Skorn, now became Kanai's Skorn, and that's the transmog you get in the mysterious chest. Now, Kanai was adored by his people, so much so that he was under consideration of being given the honor of sitting on the Immortal Throne. To put that into perspective, throughout barbarian history, only 2 people ever sat on the Immortal Throne. And one of them was Bolcathos himself, the Immortal King, thus the Immortal King set being named after him. But before the final ruling as to whether Kanai was deemed worthy of the throne, you know, there's a lot of red tape, bureaucracy and all that, Baal attacked the city. It was bad timing. Now, why did Baal attack the city? Well, Sescheron was a huge city. It was a symbol of the united barbarian tribes. And within this city was the World Stone, which the barbarians were tasked with defending. It seems any time someone needs something defended, they just turn to the barbarians. It's kind of like that one friend in your group that gives people lifts, and then people just keep saying, oh, don't worry, so-and-so will give you a lift. And he just keeps getting schlepped with more and more lift duties. Anyway, when Baal came for the World Stone, Chief Elder Kanai rallied his people, and they fought valiantly against Baal, but ultimately, the barbarians were defeated. Kanai was killed in combat. But Kanai's body was later recovered by the surviving barbarians, and they placed him on the Immortal Throne. And the frigid temperatures of the area kept his body preserved, presumably. Or magic. It's not explained. Now, because of the destruction of his home and the World Stone, Kanai's spirit could not rest. It remained in the mortal world, watching over the cube, waiting for a powerful, honorable person to come by, to whom he could pass on his sacred duty. And that person is you, the Nephilim. When you go grab the cube, you see King Kanai appear and effectively give it to you, entrusting it to you, passing on the guardianship. And we use it as a legendary item vending machine. Now, one cool thing that can happen in the area, in the ruins of Sescheron, is if you do one of the events that spawns the last of the barbarians, when you have to free some barbarians from cages, one of those barbarians named Skullar will keep accompanying you as you travel the area. And if you go to the throne, then he'll stop following you, he'll run up to King Kanai, and he'll take a knee, bow before his king, and he'll stay there and stop following you. Skullar's reverence becomes even more touching when you find out the real backstory behind how Kanai got added to the game. And it turns out that it's in honor of Kevin Kanai Griffith, who was a member of the Diablo 3 team. He was a senior artist who worked on environment design. He was born on March 24th, and on October 17th, 2014, he lost his battle with cancer. So King Kanai was named after Kevin Kanai Griffith. And the model for King Kanai was based on the transmogs that Kevin Griffith used on his barbarian. Kanai's stomping grounds are open in March, the birth month of Kevin Griffith, and the last week of the month, toward his birthday, is when you can get the Skorn. World of Warcraft also has a tribute to Kevin Griffith in the form of an NPC art teacher named Kanai Griffith. All in all, it's a very touching tribute, and it's blended seamlessly into the lore, into the game. The reverence that the barbarians show towards their chief elder parallels the reverence that Kevin's colleagues have towards him. And that's the story of King Kanai. And that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon subscribers for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can pledge on Patreon, where your support is immensely appreciated. And we have a variety of backer rewards, including behind the scenes stuff, previews of upcoming content, and more. If you like this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.